Folks, welcome to another week. Yes, we start off as we always do with a pop culture roundup. We have the best there is from the hit podcast Snarkbait, the one, the only, Sophie Rossbrooks. Sophie, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you today?
Good. Well, I'm in beautiful Los Angeles, where it's just a shit show again today.
Oh God!
And it's we're going to talk about pop culture stories, but it's really hard. It's really hard when it just insanity. It's very sad.
Fuck ICE, you guys.
Yeah,
fuck ICE.
I really think it's that simple. And to pull in National Guard, like we have a right to protest. To pull in, it's just political theater, And it's like, listen, I'm sorry you and Elon are in a fight, but it always just seems like it's distraction. You need something really big. It's very reality TV show, if to be honest with you, and it just affects real people out here. And it's just very sad to watch. And
it really is. I actually really liked what Teffy posted. She said, this just really resonated with me. Your biggest blessing in this lifetime is geography. You think immigrants don't have dreams. You think people who experience war, loss, poverty, and crime aren't just like you. I once met a Buddhist who told me we only reach nirvana when we've lived every life on earth. You better pray to God your next life is not an immigrant living in the USA in 2025.
Wait, who is this? Teffy? Who is
Teffy?
Teffy?
At Hello Teffy. She's like an influencer.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I've really been resonating with her posts about what's been going on. So
I love that, and I mean, not to remind people, obviously this country is built on immigrants, and I think especially the Latino community in Los Angeles makes up what Los Angeles is, like how good Los Angeles is. And obviously, if you're not in Los Angeles, you just see images from news and you hear about the fires and. This is just, we're all so much more than what is being broadcast to you. And, it just bums me out. But we're going to talk about a stuff that hopefully will put a smile on your face in some way. And I guess I'm going to start today with something. I think this is the most important news story of all time, really, is that Kylie Jenner this past week, Sophie, did you hear about this? She made a very, Teffy, what an amazing thing she said about immigrants. But I think Kylie Jenner also said something amazing this week when she was honest with a Twitter user and she came clean about her specific boob job. Did you see this?
I did see this. And I don't know what's going on because Kris Jenner also came out about her facelift, like something where they're suddenly like, people are going to like us more if we're finally transparent about surgeries.
Oh my God, if honesty becomes a trend because of the Kardashians, by the way, Jax Taylor, pay attention to what the Kardashians are doing right now. But yes, Kylie Jenner, this is all based on a Twitter user asked what she had, and she very simply wrote 445cc, moderate profile, half under the muscle, and she put like 6 exclamation points. So that's a big one. Silicone, 3 exclamation points, and then Garth Fisher, 3 exclamation points. Hope this helps, LOL. So
Girth Fisher.
I'm Girth Brooks. Girth Fisher. Garth Fisher is having the best week ever. Name drops Garth Fisher. And first off, what does moderate profile mean? What does that mean?
I have no idea. I do not know. I have never gotten. I know, like you might not be able to tell, but I've never.
Breaking news!
These are all natural, baby.
Breaking news! By the way, if you sign up for Snarkbait's Patreon, you will see Sophie's boobs. There is nudity on the Patreon.
I don't know. I would assume maybe profile, like you're from the side.
From this side, okay.
I don't know.
Guys, wait. Moderate profile? Are you? Those are very big.
I know.
I think that's maximum profile.
For the record, that person, I went to the original video of that woman asking. She was like, "Kylie, you have the most perfect boob job. They look so natural." And I was like, "Are we looking at the same boob job?"
These are the people that are like the people in Avatar. They're real life people. Like that's how good the technology is. But also, do you think this is like Timothée Chalamet? Like, this is how he found out these are fake boobs? He's like, what? Are you kidding me, Kylie? This whole time, I thought these were natural.
I think she upgraded her boob job for Timothy. Like, I think that Timothy is a boob guy. That's why when she's out with him, she's always wearing something busty. I mean, she's always wearing something busty anyway, but I feel like especially with Timmy.
So Timmy like made it known of like I like big buxom ladies.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, so then the second part of this was that you're right, Kris Jenner. Well, first off, Garth, the plastic surgeon, took to Instagram.
Fisher.
Garth took to Instagram and goes, "I'm honored to be acknowledged by Kylie. Her kind words were unexpected, but truly appreciated. Patient confidentiality has always been the foundation of my practice. Over 3 decades, we've never had a single breach. My entire team is thoroughly trained and bound by strict NDAs and confidentiality agreements. This is more than policy. It's our culture. HIPAA laws are in place to protect patients, and I will never discuss any details of a procedure or procedures unless the patient has chosen to share them or given me permission to discuss. Every patient is unique. This isn't cookbook surgery. It's thoughtful, personalized care," Garth said.
I like how he said this isn't cookbook surgery, because I feel like probably so many people are going to take Kylie's exact order and try to like replicate it. And he's like, no, like this was based on, you know, her personal, like her body type and just a personal recommendation. So I appreciated that about Garth.
Well, no, again, this is true. I actually did see Garth this week, and I asked exactly for this because I wanted to really feel what it's like.
Wait, did you really?
No, are you fucking kidding me?
Ryan, you have the most random people sometimes on the pod. Like, I would not be surprised if you booked him right away to be a guest.
I don't think I'll ever, at this point, I'll never be able to get Garth. But I mean, so then Kris Jenner, you guys, Kris Jenner under this post of Garth's, she writes, "Garth, you are such a superstar class act. You did my first facelift in 2011, 14 years ago, and made it the most amazing experience ever, and even gave us access to film so that others could get a peek inside what it's like and not be afraid. You have taken great care of us always and remained such a close and treasured friend, such an incredible talent." And she used emojis throughout, so you know she means it. But by the way, I love also this. She specifies first.
Yeah.
So what do you think happened? Where is it like working with a new music producer? Like Taylor's always with Jack Antonoff, but eventually she's going to have to go with another producer. So Kris was like, "I love what Garth did, but I do need to switch it up a little bit."
I think maybe there are different types of facelifts. And I guess the facelift that she most recently got is a deep plane facelift, which I don't fully understand what that means, but maybe that's not his special.
A listener actually reached out, and she works for a plastic that does the deep plane work. And that's what
I need.
I might have it. You don't need shit.
I need the Anne Hathaway. I need the Anne Hathaway, Lindsay Lohan special.
Sophie, you're already younger than both of them. That's idiotic to say. How dare you? Are you kidding me?
I'm just being honest.
Wait. Depending on how successful Snark Fake gets, it will be funny to see Sophie's face a year from now.
I show up with a new face.
What's going on?
And I'm like, guys, like it's called laser facials. Okay.
Yeah, it's called eating right, you guys. That's what it's called. So Kris Jenner revealed this. Also, Caitlyn Jenner came out and was like, "I love Garth. Garth did, yeah, baby, woo, Garth did my boobies, woo."
Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while.
So I don't really have it. Anyways.
No, you still got it.
That is the honesty that we got from the Kardashian Jenner clan this week. And I feel like this got such positive response. Will all the Kardashians by the way, the one that Khloe's going to write a whole book on plastic surgery potentially. I mean, she's gotten a lot done, but Kylie went on to say she's only had the normal Botox and some filler on her face. Nothing else besides that.
See, that's what pisses me off. You can't selectively choose what to be transparent about because it just makes it more, it's more of a, what's the word? Deceit. It's just more.
The honesty only goes so far. And then it makes you think almost like that original person that asked Kylie, was this part of a bit? Was this part of like a plant of like, this week in public relations, we're going to have somebody ask, and Kylie, you're going to be honest. Okay.
Honestly, that's a good theory.
Yeah. I mean, I will say everything is so conspiratorial now. Why not? And by the way, it really is an interesting PR pivot, as you pointed out. Like this is something if like Kardashian's no hold barred honesty sessions would be, and by the way, I challenge you to do the men next. Like talk about all of your relationships with the men and what happened with every relationship.
Also, also tell us like what happened in Khloe and Lamar's house that made Rob Kardashian have a mental breakdown. That's what I want to know. But the other thing is that Stassi, Kylie's best friend Stassi baby?
Yeah. She admitted to getting a BBL.
She has a new podcast where she came out and was like, I got a BBL and I've been trying to reverse it ever since. And I think that also is pretty much confirmation that Kylie got a BBL, which we know. This is confirmation also.
I've told you this joke many years. Like, if heaven exists, do you think they go up there and God's like, whoa, I didn't recognize you. This is not how I made you at all. Like, do you think God gets offended when it's like that far left of what, the original body type was? But by the way, I just watched, coming out on Netflix, I think this week, it's a docu-series about a bunch of different like weird pop culture stories. But one is Trainwreck about the Astroworld tragedy with Travis Scott.
I saved that so I can be like alerted when it goes live. That and the Ocean Gate. I watched the Discovery one, but I'm excited.
I watched the Discovery one, the Ocean Gate, but the Netflix one comes out this week. But the Trainwreck, it's decently done. It tells obviously the Astroworld tragedy from the people that were there, and friends, are on there who had lost their friends at the Astroworld tragedy, where 10 people lost their lives at the Travis Scott Astroworld Music Festival on the first night. They had to cancel the second night, and this could have been easily preventable. And, I believe Kylie was there because this is when they were still together.
Yeah.
But at many times you can hear the crowd going, stop the show, stop the show. And a lot of these things were ignored. So this goes in deeper, but it's just an overall, just very sad reminder. But it also points out at the end, Travis Scott had the, I think, highest grossing rap tour of 2024, which I didn't realize he was still that popular, that he was that successful.
I didn't either. And I think it's insane that he basically faced no consequences for
he really did it. Yeah,
Astroworld.
Because Live Nation, like they all escaped prosecution. They settled out of court with a lot of people, but they didn't have any charges that actually went through, which is insane because they had people the way, like, how many people were going to be there. And then earlier in the day, so many people broke through the great gates. So they had way more than 50,000 people. But like the stage setup, they even said beforehand, only 35,000 people could legitimately see the stage. And you have 50,000 people there.
And they had only one entry and exit in that area.
Yeah, and you just, by the way, and I think we've all been, like, you've probably been to concerts like I have where you have that rush of the crowd. And I remember many Coachellas where you would have that. And I'm a big guy, so it didn't really hurt me, but it's really scary when when people are just packed in there and people are getting trampled on, like people are going into cardiac arrest. But this was an interesting thing just to see all of these years later that Travis Scott, I watched some of his set on YouTube during Coachella this year, and it seemed kind of like a little bit of a disaster. But I've never been into Travis Scott's music. I've listened to his albums. It's just, I wish I could hear what the kids are hearing, but it just has never done it for me,
I feel like the only songs of his that I'm like, yeah, this is fine. Like, this is okay. Are like the hits, like Goosebumps and like Sicko Mode. Otherwise, I'm just like, no, it doesn't really do it for me.
Well, his big thing was, he wants the crowd to rage, Ray, I'm giving you energy. You give me this energy back. And so his crowds were really known for, it's not necessarily a mosh pit, but everybody just losing it in kind of a celebration. But those things can take a really dark turn. So that comes out this week. But that's what I meant being honest. Like, I want to know the gritty details between Kylie and Travis and what Travis thinks of Timothy and, how often does Travis see their daughter?
Yeah. And son. I mean, don't forget the son.
Yeah.
Heir.
Oh, God. I thought, for some reason, I always do forget about the son. It's always the second Kardashian Jenner kid you forget about the most.
Yeah.
So that's what we have in Kardashian news. Very important. Huge week in Bravo. Now, Sophie, this might have been before your time, but did you ever watch the Rachel Zoe project on Bravo?
Okay. Yes, I am so fucking excited that Rachel Zoe is going to be a housewife.
So this is the energy I want. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. we had a big announcement on Friday that the Rachel Zoe project, Rachel Zoe, also, celebrity, what kind of is her job? Celebrity stylist. That's it. Celebrity stylist. She is accepted a role on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I am so excited about this. But, us Bravo audiences are fickle, man. People are like, I don't want to see. I had so many people in my DMs saying, no, don't want her.
I've only seen people be excited. But again, it's like I watched the Rachel Zoe project and I was obsessed with her. And she is like a real legit, like she's the real deal. She needs no introduction.
And she's going through a divorce with Roger. Yeah. So of course, like that's, and people were like, oh, she's annoying. And I'm like, first off, you don't like Erica Jane isn't annoying. Like I made this point of like, Housewives, there's a percentage of every housewife, there's a high annoyance level. That's part of what makes them a good housewife. So the jury is out. I'll be curious, but I mean, wouldn't it be great if Alex Baskin was like, gets Brad Goreski on as a friend of somebody just to force that relationship to see where it's at now?
That's actually brilliant.
God, because that's what I really want to know is where her and Brad stand.
I would assume that they're on good terms. I don't know.
Yeah, but is it that kind of good terms where they can be cordial with each other? Like I've seen that happen a lot. I would be interested
to see Taylor. Remember the other stylist assistant? So it was Brad and then that girl Taylor who was like the punk rock, like blonde girl. I don't know what happened to her.
Well, I have a friend in real life that this is a couple years ago. Actually went out, I think went out with, I think he's friends with Taylor's husband or Taylor's husband at the time. And they went out and he's like, oh yeah, this girl, she used to be on reality TV. And I was like, hit me with it. And she's like, Rachel Zoe project. I was like, no fucking way. And I knew exactly who that, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But it would be great. But so there's no reboot of Rachel Zoe project, but she will be on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm also now hearing multiple sources just to confirm once again, Erica Jane will be on, but I am hearing she is a friend of.
Like, she is a friend of?
That I've heard from three separate sources.
God is good. Okay, I'm sorry for spreading misinformation on Snarkbait Dark Energy Tuesday because I thought that she was going to be full-time because someone posted that she's going to be the longest tenured housewife now after Kyle on Beverly Hills.
Well, tenured in the sense of she's on the show. There's no like interruption in between seasons, but I also am hearing that she will be returning to Broadway with Chicago. So that's another thing I'm hearing.
Oh, I thought God was good for a second.
And that a potential residency will be happening again in Vegas. So those are the two things that I heard. Who knows? But I the friend of thing I think is that's a go. So
that brings me a lot of joy.
Do you think Rachel Zoe will help style Doute?
No, that's what's so funny is that Doute's gonna meet like a real fashion person.
And then what if Rachel like turns her nose up at some of the things that Doute's wear? Like
I'm sure
she will. We waited all this time for you to take pictures and you show up in this?
It's bananas.
Do you remember that? Because I think this is on the last season of Rachel Zoe Project because she's friends with all these celebrities and she was with Kate Hudson and Kate Hudson was singing a Fleetwood Mac song like in the car and they're like, you have a beautiful voice, Kate. And Kate Hudson just did release an album this past year and she's kind of done these little tour stops, but it just gave me such a look into celebrity culture. That friend, like Kate Hudson's a good singer, but that friend, like you kiss their ass, like they're an okay singer, but it's nothing to write home about. And she was like, oh, Kate, yes. And like just that friend that like just feels free just to sing anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you have any of those? Do you do that, Sophie? Do you just sing anywhere?
Oh, I love to sing everywhere. And like my friends get so annoyed at me.
Yeah. So, but your friends aren't like, oh, Sophie, hit me with that. That's beautiful.
No, but just watch out. As soon as I become famous, they're going to change their tune.
Well, they won't recognize you because of all the plastic surgery from Girth. So
my deep plain facelift.
Yeah. What if they just, it's way too deep and it's just like, Sophie, I'm seeing just blood and bone. Like this is not good at all. And then wait. If Rachel gets on Beverly Hills and her first scene, she's like, Kyle, tell me more about Morgan Wade. Like I would bow down. I would bow down.
That's what I'm interested in seeing. It's like, this is someone who actually has, clout. Like, I'm interested in seeing the power dynamic.
Yes. And I want to know exactly some details with Roger. Like, I know they're going through divorce. They have kids. Will we see Roger at all? Like, I mean, we've seen people go through, I mean, Mauricio's still on the show. I mean, could Roger be on the show then?
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if Roger is finally living his truth. But I don't know. That's purely, you guys, that is purely speculative.
You're bad. You are bad.
I'm sorry. I just remember that is something that I really, really, really remember from watching Rachel Zoe Project.
I just always thought he was oh, this guy's really into style, and he has he's really into watches. I remember he always have these big, bulky watches on. So if you haven't watched the Rachel Zoe Project, go back and watch. I mean, all this shit, history is there. It's all on Peacock. Go pay attention to these things. Also, I don't think you watched Real Housewives of Atlanta this season, but I did. And just really quickly, just to talk, they had the reunion and they released the seating, and this fucking Britt Edie that Kenya Moore got kicked off for initially, she didn't go to the reunion, and now she's suing Bravo for $20 million. And she says that the porn because Kenya Moore made these I guess poster boards with alleged photos of Britt doing sexual acts, which is disgusting. I totally understood why, Kenya needed, there needed to be some punishment there. Then Britt Edie says, oh, I wasn't there. They sent me away before I even saw it. It turns out it wasn't even me in those photos, so I don't even know who that was. So first off, you're saying that now that lady isn't even you in the photos that were alleged revenge porn, but you're going to sue Bravo. You're not going to show up the reunion because you cannot defend yourself. And I will say Kenya did release a tweet on Thursday or Friday, where she said she apologized once again and that she looks forward to seeing everybody back on Bravo. So I think that means we get her on Atlanta, which is good.
Wait, who said that?
Kenya Moore, who got kicked off this season.
Oh, so she's going to be back.
But what the fuck is it with everybody suing Bravo? You know what you're signing up for. That kind of shit just pisses me off, because on Britt Edie's case, Britt Edie literally was talking about having a gun in one scene and I hate this shit. It's you want the fame so badly, and then it doesn't go the way you want. The audience doesn't go your way, and now you're going to sue.
And now you're going to try to shake the money tree.
Exactly.
It's kind of like Leah McSweeney.
Oh my God. I just did a story last week, Sophie. Leah McSweeney, her thing is still moving forward. And remember, she sued the police initially, and that's the money that funded Married to the Mob, her clothing line. But her big thing is that Andy does coke with housewives, and the housewives that do coke with Andy, he gives preferential treatment. First off, narc. Way to go. Way to narc.
Narc alert.
Narc alert. Secondly, but also, Andy is so protected and insulated now that he doesn't even produce half the shows on Bravo, like Summer House and The Valley. He's not an executive producer on those. But I don't know. It just is another thing where it feels like give me money, as opposed to I'm making an actual point for housewives and reality stars to come for their mental health.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Also, big Bravo weekend. We also got the announcement that Monique Samuels from Real Housewives of Potomac is coming back to Potomac.
I am so excited about this.
I'm excited about this. The only bummer, and people have argued with me about this a little bit, is that what I would have loved to have seen is that her be on the same season as Candace. Because that's how she left the last time, with the glass throwing at the winery. We had Monique with her binder at the reunion. And Monique, as people point out, obviously had an interesting relationship with Giselle. So we'll see that play out. Mm-hmm. But I also just want to see these big things happen. Let's see some resolution, or let's see how they try to work it out, or how they try years and years later where we go from here. And I feel like it gives us these kind of blue balls of conflict, no resolution. They just go off the show and then they bring the person back.
Why do you think they wouldn't bring back Candace?
Well, Candace I think is about to give birth, if it hasn't, or
That's true.
Gave birth. So I think they can't do that. I mean, hopefully this works out with Monique, because I think she's just in a friend of capacity as of now. So hopefully it works out enough where they can bring back Candace another time, because I just want something even the big ones, like Lisa Vanderpump and Kyle, or what was the other example I was thinking about? But there's just these relationships where they just go away instead of actually working on the issue, which, that's sometimes what I want to see.
Totally. I am interested in seeing, like you said, her dynamic with Giselle. And then also she is post Chris Samuel's divorce.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Just like Rachel dating? Zoe. What's her lifestyle like now?
Yeah, no, I'm actually really excited to have her back, because you're still watching Bravo's Love Hotel, right?
Yeah, love Hotel.
I love Hotel. It is weird. I was talking on the Patreon today is that I don't think you like the Joel Kim Booster host role. It's, you almost don't need it. Like the game part of it isn't real. Like we're there to see like the weird behavior and the ladies kind of like interacting with the men and Countess Luann. Like I love how Countess Luann like rules the roost. Like where the host part of it, you don't necessarily need.
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, I feel like you do kind of need a host for like any show just to be kind of like the MC of the show and like tee up like, oh, well, now you guys are going to go on like an excursion out to Cabo or like whatever it is. The funniest part is Giselle. She'll be like, Joel.
But like you don't even need somebody funny. You just need somebody stable. You just need, like, that's why Chris Harrison back in the day on The Bachelor, he was just like, he wasn't too weird.
There.
He wasn't too goofy. He was just there. And
that's like Jesse Palmer, but now Jesse Palmer actually like does bring a really like he brings like humor to the role now.
And I don't mean bring Nick Lachey in here. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. Do not bring Nick Lachey at all. So Love Hotel, I'm loving as well. And Countess Luann said she was on Jeff Lewis with Shannon on Friday and said that she snuck in a bottle of tequila and they took it from her. And that they had rules on Love Hotel where they could only have two. So on like Bachelor, you guys in Love Island, they only let them have 2 drinks a night. And they're not like generous pours. But on Love Hotel, you can have 2 drinks an hour. And she was like, they limited our drinks. 2 drinks an hour is still pretty good.
That's a lot. Yeah. 2 drinks an hour. Yeah.
And then Countess Luann, of all people, sneaking a bottle of tequila into the resort. I mean, lest we forget, Countess Luann, do not blow the nice little groove you have going right now.
Oh,
please.
My God. Classic. Also, did you see, I guess in the OC, was it the trailer?
Yeah, that was another story. OC season 19 trailer.
Adam was with Shannon. I think his name was Adam, right?
Who? Wait, who?
The guy.
Oh, the guy from Love Hotel.
Yeah.
Sophie, I totally missed that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
well, when I saw Vicky and Shannon live last December, like I don't know now but 2 of the cast members, guys from Love Island, from Love Hotel, were there. But it wasn't Earl the Pearl. It was like 2 of the other. I would have recognized him. Or now, but he sticks out in my head. But 2 other guys, and Shannon keeps in touch with a lot of them. So that's interesting that you saw on the OC trailer.
Yeah, so they might still be together. And is it true that Luann is still with someone from Love Hotel, or did I make that up?
I don't think she is. She is.
Okay, never mind.
But also, Luann seems like, by the way, get Countess Luann on and just like that. This is the by the way, we have a hard time, obviously, filling the Samantha role on and just like that. I mean, she is sorely missed to me on that show. Mm-hmm. And like Countess Luann could sweep right. She could do a Kim Cattrall like that. Like Countess Luann, like I took 2 dicks last night. Oh.
Or Sonia.
Well, I think Sonia's like too out of pocket. Like you can't control Sonia.
Yeah. Like, Luann is like controlled chaos. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Sonia's chaos.
Yep.
So wait, speaking of the OC season 19 trailer, that came out this week. They just finished filming like a month and a half ago. So I don't know why they rushed this out. Like it's July 10th it premieres.
I'm excited. I'm actually, I'm ready for it. I feel like we're kind of in like a Housewives like gap right now.
Oh, gap.
Well, Renaissance for some franchises, not all of them. Not a lot of them.
Sophie, on Wednesday, Real Housewives of Miami premieres, and it's a fantastic first episode right out of the gate. I mean, I think that's going to be a really good season, but OC July 10th, we don't have John Jansen, which now I heard a couple rumors that John Jansen and Jesus Jugs are done.
Yeah,
so
I saw that too.
I don't know if that's true.
I saw that too.
But this was another, I know I'm all over the place, you guys, as always. Sophie, this is what I really fucking hate, though, is that I saw that rumor a lot. It's not been substantiated or confirmed by anybody that I actually trust, but we get that now so much. We had, like, in Summer House, we have a bunch of cast leaving, which we're going to talk about, but we had a Carl Radke post that we're like, oh, Carl posted this and then deleted it, and it was him leaving Summer House.
It was fake news.
It was fake. I know exactly the Twitter account that it came from. By the way, this is like my first week that I went back to Twitter kind of after, because I was like, Elon and Trump, got to see it. And immediately I got hit with why I hate fucking Twitter sometimes, is that people can just post things and they're like, it's a joke. Nobody knows it's a fucking joke. Like, where is the joke if you're posting a statement that is supposedly from Carl's account? Where's the joke?
It's literally just to spread misinformation and see how far it can get. And
it can go really far.
And it's a very like realistically written statement. Like they spend a lot of time on it. It's really crazy. They did the same thing with Brynn leaving Roni. Like they do this a lot.
The only thing I knew it was fake because of the account, but then I knew it was really fake because there's no way that Carl's statement wouldn't say, anyways, I'll see you at Soft Bar this summer. There was no mention of Soft Bar. That's where they failed.
Yeah, you're right. But there's also, again, no way that he would leave ahead of, the Soft Bar launch. Like he needs Summer House.
He needs this. I mean, which we'll talk about Summer House in a second because there's a lot of things happening in the Summer House universe. But yeah, OC19 looks good. They start with a lie detector test. I always love a lie detector test. It's way better than a rage room or a murder mystery party. There's it looks like 2 cast trips, New Orleans and Amsterdam. Gretchen Rossi's back, which they invented the technology to be able to Facetune as hard as she does on her Instagram posts on her scenes, which is amazing.
Yeah. And she has Mar-a-Lago hair is what I've heard it be called.
Sorry, that's actually really funny. And Slade Smiley, her husband, who we knew from the first season of OC way back in the day when he dated Joe, he's back. And we found out some really great information right off the bat that she broke Slade Smiley's dick at some point. Did you see that little bit of the trailer?
Yeah, very interesting. It's like between Scheana's hemorrhoids, why do we need to know these things? I
want this kind of honesty. This is the kind of honesty I want from a reality TV star where I don't need it. Probably don't want it if you ask me, but if I hear it, I'm like, because that just sticks in my all week. This is how immature I am.
Volcano dick?
Exactly. When you told me the story about Jax's volcano dick, it sticks in my head in that bad place where I know it's like my 3rd grade humor where I'm like, oh man, I know I shouldn't be talking about this, but it's all I think about is Scheana's anal, that's all I think about, or Slade Smiley's dick, which it does come out in the episode in OC that Slade saw Girth Fisher and did an amazing work on Slade Smiley's dick to rehab it.
Girth Fisher.
But also Tamra, they say in the trailer, there's audio of Tamra cheating on Eddie. And she's like, it's all lies. It's all lies.
Oh God, Tamra's so insufferable.
Tamra's like, she's like that barnacle that like, she knows her way. It's really fascinating to see how Tamra works within the confines. And remember, this is the season where she quit. Remember the Instagram story where she quit. And then a couple days later, she came back.
My God. Insufferable. Insufferable.
And the only thing too is that Ryan, the Jen Pedranti and her fiance Ryan, it didn't have any talk about like his situation with the FBI and Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Like, is that just are we just done with that story?
Oh my God, I hope not.
Like, I just feel like we would have seen something in the trailer, but we saw nothing. But it looks good. It was a really fun trailer. Did you watch And Just Like That, the 2nd episode this week?
Of course I did. I do not miss an episode.
Sophie, it's a phenomenon. I was looking forward to this episode more than anything else I watched this week on TV.
I love how they dropped the term hate watching.
Dude, Sophie, that was one of my notes, was that in the episode, you guys, they talk about hate watching in regards to this fake reality show.
It's
about
like
lesbians.
Love Island. It's like Love Island, but it's called like Bi. What's it called? Like Bi. It's like Bi Panic.
Bi Panic. But it shows how hard they're listening to us. I don't mean us in particular. But I will say on the 1st or 2nd season and Just Like That, the New York Post interviewed me about hate watching because we would go on and on about Che Diaz. But they do have that, like, they have a really nice corner of the market where I truly hate watch this show. Yeah. And then I thought, I did my research. I was like, you know what? Maybe it's always been this way, even with Sex and the City, and maybe I was just younger. I went back and watched some Sex and the City.
Sex and the City
fucking holds up. It's so funny.
Sex and the City was genuinely good. And Just Like That is so bad, it's good.
And then, and I think, like I said earlier, the Samantha character, it really does, there is something so magical about Kim Cattrall's performance because you believe how horned up she is. And now you have Seema trying to fill that role. Yeah. And it almost is like, Yeah, I guess these women grew up, and like if you watch the Sex and the City, they were like, oh, Charlotte, when am I going to get married? Like they all turned into assholes. Carrie's always been an asshole. Carrie's always been an asshole.
Charlotte is so not Charlotte. Like it's not Charlotte York. It's a different person. Like she's a caricature of like an Upper East Side housewife, but it's like there was like a real like Charlotte had a lot of chutzpah. Like she like was a real like complex character, and this character is so one-dimensional and just doesn't seem like the same person
because it's so white bread, and it's so like I have it's like we're fighting at co-ops and we're trying to get our daughter and our son into college.
Where's the Charlotte York who said I'm worth $1 million?
Oh my God. Or I was watching the episode where she got drunk at this when Carrie was dating the political guy from Mad Men. Yeah. And she was like got really drunk, and they're on the boat back into the city, and she was like, when am I going to get married? But it was so cute and believable, and like how a person in their early 30s, you would dream about these things before like the crushing that life will sometimes crush you after this fact. But when you're young and hopeful, but at the same time scared about what life has given you so far. And there was something so amazing about that. And then to see this is where we are now. And I still will not. Oh, so now Aiden can change the rules. Like you can just show up after 5 years. Like you said, you can't see each other for 5 years or talk.
And he just shows up. He just shows up in the house. He's just like there inside the house.
He's like, sorry, my spit, I've run out of spit and I need yours to lube myself up, Carrie.
Oh my God, stop.
And didn't you know, like the minute they talked about like, oh, this designer, I want to come do the patio. The minute they said that, I was like, oh, that's going to be a love interest for Carrie without a doubt.
But he was gross and had like an unkept beard. His beard was like disgusting.
He's kind of like the 2025 version of Aiden. Like Aiden would have a gross beard if he was younger now.
Ew, like that's what grossed me out. At least like groom his beard a little bit.
And also Carrie's bitching about like, oh, I texted him this table. By the way, the fucking table she texted Aiden looked idiotic. And like, I texted him and he just did a thumbs down. Yeah, Carrie, so what? Why did you follow up text and go just a thumbs down instead? You're just going to like bitch and moan?
He's like 60. 60-year-olds are not the best texters. That's like a known thing.
Yeah, he texts like my dad, like thumbs down, thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Wait, remember when Miranda was like, you know who else is hot? You. To the guacamole girl?
Yeah.
You.
Which, by the way, I think the guacamole girl was it was the lemur girl from Carl and Summer House this season.
Lil. It was Lil.
Lil. It was Lil. It was, and I knew, by the way, this Charlotte, horny as hell, man. She's looking
Miranda,
will say,
you mean? Miranda.
Sorry, Miranda, like horny as hell.
Yeah.
Sorry, horny as hell. I will say also, I missed Rosie.
I did too.
I wish Rosie would have come back.
I thought that Rosie was going to be the new Che Diaz character. I was really, but it was just like a guest spot.
Yeah, make it like that season of Fleabag when she
said that people come into our lives for a reason.
This could be their answer to that season of Fleabag when she fell in love with the priest that everybody freaked out. If Miranda fell in love with Rosie, a nun, like that would be so amazing. And also, when I've watched that first episode a couple times now, you're like, Rosie's character is the only person that actually has true feelings in this whole fucking godforsaken cast.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. She will be missed.
And then the one lady, the new one that came on last season or whatever, that's making the documentary about like historical black figures. But like, it's really deep. It's really intense. But then they get a call about like, oh, we can go track this down to help our kids get into college. Bye. That's not how work works. Are you in this documentary project or aren't you?
It's so stupid. It's so bad, you guys.
I hate it so much, and I wish all the episodes were out right now. Like I wish all of them were out.
I hate it so much. I cannot wait for Thursday.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was on it the minute it popped up on HBO Max. Yeah. It was like, people were like freaking out that Love Island was like 41 minutes late on Tuesday when it premiered. That was me with Sex and the City. But HBO Max, right at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Amazing.
Appointment television.
Exactly. Did you get into Love Island USA at all?
No, you guys, I don't have the emotional bandwidth. I don't have the time. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Everyone yells at me. I do not have the bandwidth.
We'll get you there. I mean, it's these kind of shows are really hard when you have such a successful season like you did last. You start the season off like realizing it's not last season, and there's like a hump that the viewers have to get over to actually kind of get involved, because even the first couple episodes for me, I was like, I hate all these fucking people. Yeah. And now I'm kind of getting into it, like some of the drama, but it is interesting in terms of, like, we always talk about the 360 viewing experience, where it's not just the show, it's the internet, it's the Reddit, it's the TikToks. All of their exes come out of the woodwork and start commenting. Like, those Islanders had no idea that Elon and Trump are fighting right now. Like, they know nothing. And so it's always like, the other interesting part is that the show continues once Love Island is gone, because you are looking for their reactions to how we, for them to find out how we reacted to them. I don't know. It fascinates me.
I would watch By Panic, though.
By Panic, once again, the show from In Just Like That, which is... But I love that they brought up reality TV. I bet Andy Cohen probably kissed Sarah Jessica Parker's ass, was like, oh my God, you did a reality show bit. Oh my God, Sarah, stop. SJP, stop.
Yeah, that's like the Kate Hudson to his Rachel Zoe.
Exactly. Oh my God, Sarah Jessica Parker, sings in front of Andy, and he's like, "Oh my God."
Oh,
girl.
she can say,
going,
do whatever.
Keep going.
He gets to go to the Met Gala with her. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, by the way, the Tony Awards are right now as we speak, and I wonder if Andy and Sarah went, because, well, Matthew would probably go with Sarah, because Matthew's a big theater guy. Okay, so explain this story to me. I know her a little bit, but you probably know way more about her. Is trad wife Nara Smith has announced she's pregnant with baby number 4 after hiding her baby bump from fans. Are you a Nara Smith fan?
No, not a fan, but I'm like aware of her. She's like one of the original TikTok trad wives
and she makes everything like she's like I can make bubble gum for my kids instead of buying bubble gum.
She makes everything from scratch, even things that are not necessary to make from scratch at all, just literally everything, and talks in that really soft, like ASMR voice, and always looks perfect. And she's always wearing like a ball gown while baking or cooking something.
She looks perfect.
She always looks perfect. And I guess she said she was done having kids after the 3rd, but I guess not. What's also interesting about her is that she may or may not be lying about her age. She says
she's 24.
She's allegedly 24. Some people think that she's actually like 29.
Wow.
So that's just a conspiracy theory about her that I think is interesting. But yeah, she's pregnant again with her 4th child with Lucky Blue Smith. Lucky Blue is like a male model.
Oh my God. Justin and Haley were like, you took our baby's name. That's what we wanted.
But why male models?
Well, anyways, and by her husband is like this model guy too that does a bunch of like she makes him like facial cream. I was watching some of the videos. It was a whole lot, and she's making millions of dollars.
Oh, they're also Mormon. So
bingo. By the way, the huge last couple of years for Mormons, which brings us
the Mormon community is the community that keeps on giving.
I am converting this week to Mormonism just to get a foothold into the entertainment industry. It's the only way to go.
Don't forget your garments.
All joking aside, I grew up with a lot of Mormons in Arizona, and I'm such a child. That to me was the part of the religion I really liked. I was like, you got secret underwear that like protects you, because the garments, like they protect you. And then, I would hear stories of like, yeah, this dude was in a car accident, but he was wearing his garments and it like protected him.
Wow.
And that like hits all those superhero buttons for me, where I was like, fuck, but you have to be a Mormon to like have the secret underwear actually fucking work.
I never grew up with Mormons, so that wasn't my experience.
You have your own kind of secret underwear, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So that happened. Also, really devastating news this week we found out. And I did text Sophie about this earlier, is that there is a Secret Lives of Mormon Wives Season 2 reunion. It is hosted by Nick Viall. Sophie, thoughts?
I mean, you guys fucking know how I feel about Nick fucking Viall. I saw the photo of him and I sent it to Ryan of him sitting in his chair and he's like leaned back. He has the worst posture.
It's serious, Nick. It's serious, Nick.
But like he's still like slouched. Like he's so casual and just like slouched
like,
over all the time.
Ladies, I gotta ask you a question.
I know. I was like, ladies. I can hear this photo where he's like,
ladies.
so
ladies.
Mathy. How did you feel? I just fucking hate him.
I don't see. I always see clips of his shows, but I don't listen to the show. And he gets the best interviews, top interviews. Will he bring his wife Natalie with the because I feel isn't that the vibe? Like Natalie throws in comments too. Like
she's gonna be yeah.
Natalie
like
should be there too.
Yeah, I mean Natalie is always there on his podcast. I don't listen to his podcast either because I find him so insufferable. But Christy, my Snarkbait co-host, made a good point where like he actually is decent at like asking tough questions.
Yeah.
So like at least he has that going for him, but it's like it's not worth it to me.
Well, he has a very strong opinion, I've noticed in the clips I've seen. And that's always good to have a strong opinion, but sometimes I'm so diametrically opposed to those opinions, or, you know, like you're like, oh, you didn't even watch the show really, like, or you're like missing huge things, and you have a team of people that are giving you notes, and he's very comfortable. I noticed in being a dick, you know, like to the guest in a sense, or just like really kind of pushing, which is good. So I'm excited. And you know, he doesn't want to blow this opportunity. It just bugged me because he had like a black suit on, and then you could already see he had like 3 rings on his fingers. And I was like, really? Multiple rings? Come on.
I hate him so much, but you're right about him not wanting to blow this opportunity, because I think all he wants in life is to be a host. Like he wanted Chris Harrison's job so bad.
Oh, so bad. Well, and in a sense he is like, it's like, you know, like I don't, you know, we always joke about Nick Viall, but it is like he's doing it. Like it's very successful. You know, I see a lot of hate for him as well, but it's very successful. I mean, you know, he's doing it. Like, I mean, if you can be the Andy Cohen of Hulu shows, I guess. I don't know. Well, what if they have him do like host a Kardashians reunion or something? Because they're on Hulu.
Andy Cohen did the Kardashians one when they left E!
I remember that. Yeah. No, but Andy's got a nice little thing. It'll be weird whenever he leaves. Okay, so Nick Viall, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I think that is July 1st. That comes out.
And Demi wasn't there, which I don't understand the point of the reunion if the main source of drama isn't going to be there.
And then did you see they had a mom talk show in Vegas last night, and Whitney wasn't in that as all. Like Whitney wasn't invited to participate in that. I love that there is like, it's like a class system within mom talk.
Yeah, there is.
And when I did interview them, even like off mic, they were saying like how much they don't like Whitney. Cause I was like, what's going on now?
Yeah, because Whitney kind of had like a little bit of a redemption arc in season 2.
Yeah, well, I guess season
not.
3, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to Summer House because we had so many cast shakeups. We had the second and final part of the reunion. Next week, we get a secrets revealed, or like under the covers, they're calling it, with a lot of the footage that we didn't see, some that we saw in the mid-season trailer that didn't make it to the actual show. So we see it.
Sorry to interrupt you. I cannot believe they would leave that Kyle and Amanda fight out of the season.
Okay, so that was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, is that Kyle and Amanda, obviously, I don't know time frame wise, but it was before Summer House started filming this past season. I think Face Reality 16 and Demois both were posting stories about Kyle potentially, was it like a makeout or something with somebody at Leva's Republic Bar in Charleston. Mm-hmm. And it was this big thing, and really everything was coming out. And then Summer House happened, and it seemed like, for Kyle and Amanda, that they were in a decent place compared to other seasons. So it didn't get addressed. But this conversation, I believe this is what is getting addressed, is the hubbub from that blow up.
I think you're right. Why the fuck would they leave that out though?
Well, I mean, there's a couple things, like not anything conspiratorial, because if they really wanted it out, they wouldn't bring it up for a Secrets Revealed episode. But I do think they do try to this is the story we're telling for this character. This is the story. And if you're having that conversation, it looks like it was filmed before the rest of the cast started filming for Summer House, because they've used clips of that conversation, but not the exact conversation. So if you use that, then you would have to, that's the storyline for the rest of the season with you guys. We have to keep checking in on that storyline. So that was one of my guesses of why they didn't. Because if they didn't want us to see it, they wouldn't put it in this episode at all either.
It just pisses me off because I think this season did lack a lot of storylines. All we had really was
Lexi and Jesse,
and then kind of Paige and Craig, but that barely was even a thing. So it's why would you deprive us of that?
Well, I mean, maybe it's like we've hit that. You can't go to the well too many times. Like we've hit that so many times with Kyle.
Like, and the viewers are probably like, I think if they did put it in the season, all the viewers would be like, I'm so sick of watching this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll say that about anything, but
yeah, that's true.
I think maybe that's why. So I'm interested to see that conversation and how it plays out.
Yeah.
But the reunion, I mean, Kyle and Amanda specifically, what I think is really interesting is that, like Lexi and Jesse, they flew too close to the sun. Nobody expected them to keep going, whatever. But the Kyle and Amanda thing, there was that segment of this part of the reunion that fascinated me because those are like real couple issues of like, well, when are you going to sell Loverboy? I don't know. I'm going to keep going. Da, da, da. And you could tell they both love each other, but it really is like at a certain point, I fear for them as a couple. Like I like both of them separately, but I'm like, whoa, there's like, she seems like resigned to the fact. And like, she's like, I'm moving on. I'm doing my thing and I'm very happy with it. And she didn't sound angry about it. She just seemed resigned to the fact. But at some point, she's not going to be.
I would be shocked if their marriage survives. Just in general, whether it's 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, I would be shocked if they ultimately grow old together. They are so not compatible. I think that it worked out for them at the beginning because they were attracted to each other. And, I think they had some things in common when they were younger. Now they have nothing in common. I don't know if you saw this. I think it was a Bravo and Cocktails blind that alleged that this one Summer House star was cheating on her significant other. And everyone was like, what Summer House star is in a relationship that's a woman? And
Paige?
Everyone was like, Paige isn't in a relationship according, as far as we know that she is, but she's not. Amanda, everyone was like, that's Amanda.
Well, he's certainly not there a lot. I mean, she could get away
Yeah,
with it.
and I could see how maybe she would justify it. Like, he's fucking cheated on me so many times.
And then we find out it's Jesse Solomon.
Oh my God, that would talk about reviving Summer House. That would actually everyone is waiting for the next scandal.
Wait, what do we call it? Sandoval or Batuloval? What would you even call that? You have to have a name before it goes public. I mean,
Scandal.
Scamanda. We already did
Scamanda, like the podcast.
Yeah. Anyways, so
Scamanda would be a really funny name for a.
We did it. We came up with something
for like finally. A Summer House scandal with Amanda cheating on Kyle with Jesse. Now I really want that to happen.
Well, I mean, you will, like, because Jesse would. I mean, I don't mean just
100% would.
And he would do that with anybody too, by the way. Like, I don't think this has, Jesse got off with such a slap on the wrist. Like, really, he was able to just like go,
I know, it pissed me off. It pissed me off, and how mean all the viewers are to Lexi, how mean the cast was to Lexi. And I know that Lexi's not perfect. I think that she shot herself in the foot, I think, by going on that press tour. I think that she was releasing way too much information that I'm surprised that Bravo was allowing her to do that, but maybe she actually was breaking her contract by doing that.
She might be, because they are so, like, I'm interviewing Luke from the Valley tomorrow, and I know, even though like I've talked with Luke separately.
My God, doesn't he have to be in a delivery room soon?
Well, we were going to do it in person, and then we had to do it virtual because we don't know it could happen at any time, right? Yeah. So, but I know the Bravo PR people will be on with us, unfortunately. I love the Bravo PR, but it's like they'll tell me immediately what to cut out afterwards. So it's sometimes Lexi might have done them. Lexi might have gone rogue because they do their job. And if they don't want stuff out, they will tell you to cut it.
I feel like that was where she went wrong, honestly. I think it would have been good drama to have her back in the house with Jesse, because that was the entire storyline this summer. I would love to see how they would interact in the house together next year. But I think, she went wrong with going on that press tour.
And that one comment she made at the end of the reunion where, she was like, no, I don't need to be friends with him. I'm good. And if I'm a producer, I'm like, okay, so there's like no room at all. Like, it would have been great because it would have kept Jesse a little honest. Yeah. At the same time, you could argue the opposite of like, okay, Jesse will think he got away with it and maybe go 4 times harder.
He did get away with it. He did get away with it. It pisses me off. I just once again am like, imagine if that Sierra, and I tweeted this also, Sierra saying he's not smart enough to be a manipulator. And I'm like, that's how boys get away with their behavior over and over and over again.
Oh my God. Said that on the recap. I said, Sierra, he's fooled you all. He clocks everything in the house. Not just about him, but about everybody. Think about the last 2 seasons. He'll actually bring up uncomfortable conversations about other people just to kind of start something. He'll throw out little comments. He pays attention to it all. He pays attention to all his social media. He's very aware.
That's why Sierra does not have a good fuckboy radar, clearly.
I know. See, it's not well. So we got Lexi gone, made the announcement. I'm actually really bummed about that. I thought it would have been an interesting second season. Mm-hmm. We also then got the Paige DeSorbo announcement.
Yeah.
So what did you think about Paige announcing she's leaving Summer House?
What's funny is that I was surprised, but not surprised. Because I remember saying, it's going to be the 10th season. This is going to be such a, it's kind of a milestone for the show. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, she has bigger and better things going on. I think also she does want to keep her personal life private. That's why I think when everyone's talking about, a potential spinoff situation, I don't think that she's going to let cameras in right now because she has so many other streams of income. And also Summer House and being on reality TV is doing more harm than good for her career, I think, because she got a lot of backlash after Reunion Part 1 for siding with Jesse. Or laughing with Jesse,
I think it's a different fandom than Giggly Squad. That's a separate fandom that adore her and them. And it's okay, would you rather have parts of your life put under a microscope, or would you rather people just thinking you're funny and you get to be you and you get to do this and you get to have your Daphne clothing thing
and keep your boyfriend Joe D'Amelio private? Because you're going to get shit for it either way. There's nothing wrong with her moving on, but she knows that the crazy ass Southern Charm, Craig Stans, and Facebook moms are going to attack her either way.
So that is something that went through my head is do you need it? It's good money. It's great money at this point in terms of how many seasons they've been on, but she is bigger. She has now grown past Bravo in a sense. It's a little like Ariana, but you're getting so many opportunities.
Yeah, it's you wouldn't be in a share house. You can afford to get your own mansion in the Hamptons. You don't need to share a house. It's just not realistic anymore. I do think that everyone does have a price. I think that she may have, if I had to guess, tried to negotiate a lot. And Bravo couldn't afford her. I think that everyone has a price.
There's a possibility they would, if they really wanted to keep her. They were like, next season of Summer House, we're just going to shoot in your apartment. Yeah, everybody's there. Everybody's in your apartment next season. Paige.
Summer House : Paige's house.
Paige's house. Oh my God, I had this. This is the stupid things I think about at night. What if we did? I'm trying to think of ways to make soft bar work for Carl. I was thinking Carl's Rules, a Vanderpump Rules spin-off at Soft Bar about the people that work at Soft Bar. I mean, it's everybody's sober, so it might not be super exciting.
Radke's Rules.
Radke's Rules. That's it. Radke's Rules.
Done.
My God, that's it. That's the way we can get Soft Bar to be successful is Radke's Rules.
It's funny because it's not a bar where there's going to be all this alcohol flowing and debauchery. It's they're going to be drinking mindfully.
It's just really intense conversations.
It's a bunch of lils. It's a bunch of lils.
I love when Carl was like, I just thought she was hot. She had a hot body. I'm like,
she had a hot body and a pretty face.
A hot body and a pretty face.
He's talking wait, have you watched Overcompensating yet, Benny Drama?
Yes, I loved it. So loved it.
It reminded me of how Benny Drama in that show talks, where he's like, I'm going to fuck some vaginas.
Oh yeah, it's very Steve Carell. Of course I felt boobs, how they feel like sand. And, it's awesome like that. No, Carl. By the way, I got a little emotional. Carl talking about his teeth.
I know. I felt really bad.
Oh, were you one of the people that have? Oh, you probably have.
Ryan, don't pretend that you weren't down in making. You're not above that.
I don't think I have fucked up teeth myself. I don't think I've ever made fun of Carl's teeth. But
Ryan.
But he got them resized. He got fake teeth and then he got them resized.
And then Andy was like, yeah, they actually look better right now. I'm like, I'm sure that's not what he wants to hear.
No, he's like, hey, bud, they look good. They look good. So Paige is gone. I still think she will have a relationship with NBC Universal. That is, we'll see. But I believe when I did a story on BravoCon a couple weeks ago, she was one of the featured guests. So I don't know what that means.
She is going to be there.
Well, when I read, maybe it's been taken down off the website, but when I did a story on the show like weeks and weeks ago, Paige was one of the people there. So I don't know. But Andy said, that's going to be weird at BravoCon with you and Craig. So they're going to try to find a way to get them in the same room at some time. But right. Kyle was talking about cheers to season 10. It'll be great to see Sierra without Paige to see if she's a flop or if she rises above.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I'm really interested. It was like when Hannah left, I was like, I'm interested in seeing Paige without Hannah. I'm interested in seeing Sierra without Paige. And I think, Carl confirmed that he's going to be back. So it's going to be Kai Manda. Lindsay, I assume, is going to be like part-time friend of.
Yeah, I mean, she talked about it on the reunion too, of like, well, I'm going to come up some weekends, but it's my first, summer with Gemma.
Yeah.
Then Gabby is.
Yeah, it sounds like Gabby's out, which I'm kind of sad about because I like Gabby. I enjoy her. I know I'm kind of in the minority because people find her.
She didn't say anything of note even at the reunions.
She
held Lexi's hand the entire time.
I know. I just believe in her because I think she's funny and interesting. I think that she has something to offer, but I don't know what.
But you only have so many seasons to actually show. And I will say we're not editors, so there might be just storylines with her left on the cutting room table. Yeah. But it was frustrating. So, and then if Lexi, who she was holding hands with, if Lexi goes, that would have been Gabby's, another reason to keep Gabby if Lexi was there.
Yeah.
So so we'll see with Lindsay, but it'll be, I'm sure more information will come out very soon. Were you shocked at all about the revelation from Lindsay about not being with Turner?
Well, you spoiled it for me.
No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
I was not super shocked. No. Were you?
Yeah. I wasn't shocked. I mean, I wasn't shocked, but I was interested in the mechanics of that. And then I started worrying kind of like, when somebody is public and when somebody is private, I get worried for Gemma in the future because I think Lindsay would really have no bones about having Gemma around if she's on reality TV. And when you have somebody that, that can get really dicey if their relationship goes sour in any way. And I was thinking about Jason Hoppy and Bethany Frankel and other relationships where that comes into play. And you watch The Valley and you're like, I don't like seeing any of their kids because it fucking reminds me that they have kids and it's a shit show already.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what she said about how, Andy asked her, would you be okay if Turner started dating someone else? And she goes, no. She was like, we're not together, but no, I wouldn't be okay with it.
Because he wouldn't be sleeping at my place anymore.
Everyone's like, what? Lindsay has to be the biggest nightmare to co-parent with. But gotta love her. Gotta love her.
I love Wes and Jesse's stupid reactions in the sense of they were like, so do you still are you guys sexual at all? And she's like, no. And they're like, oh man. So he's staying over and he's not getting any? Oh my God.
West said 2 words the entire time. I hate him.
He's existing solely on vibes right now. He's got to have a strong chat with the producers to get him more in the action.
Yeah, get him in the mix.
Yeah, he's a fun character to watch, but you got to have him confident enough to have a storyline. Do you have a couple more minutes finally to talk Valley?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Something that I want to ask you about the Valley. I saw a conspiracy theory, and it seems this might have legs to it, that Jax never went to rehab.
Okay, so I've heard this rumor as well, that there's, this is out there, that Jax might not have gone to a mental health facility this first time. And which, by the way, that has some legs because you're sitting there watching going, what kind of fucking mental health facility lets you have your phone this much and lets you leave and lets you go to your house?
Wear bar merchandise.
Your hat's really triggering all of us in group therapy today, Jax. Can you take that off? No, I'm not taking it off. I paid to be here. So that makes a lot of sense to me, and especially the way this last episode left where he says, his sister calls and Jax is going to the hospital, his blood pressure, and he obviously planted some sort of listening devices which is, guys, all joking aside, that's fucking scary.
You guys, he's terrifying. He's terrifying. And when he eventually ultimately gets fired from the Valley, which I think is a lot of people want him fired because he's a dangerous, terrifying person. He is going to take it out on Brittany, and I'm terrified for her.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Brittany will have to deal with him. I mean, And the thing is, you've got to watch the after show. Like I do a Patreon on the after show, and it's just a great companion piece because you catch Jax in like real time lies because they go back and forth from Brittany to Jax. So they're like, oh, Jax, does she know where the wedding ring is? Like, she's like, oh, of course she knows. And then Brittany like, I don't know where it is. I don't know. He probably sold it. Like there's so many things back and forth, like that Jax will just like completely lie about. And Brittany will be like, no, that's not true at all. It is so wild. But the reason why I do think he went, I hate to burst everybody's bubble. And I was sent a clip from Jax's podcast this week that he had heard these rumors as well. He said he definitely went for the full time the first time. The second time he was in rehab in November of last year, he only went for 17 days. The reasons why I think he was there was, first off, I think production made him go.
I was going to say, if production made him go, they needed to make sure that he actually won.
This wasn't something that he chose for himself, and it wasn't Brittany and his friends. It was production. That's one thing. Secondly, we have the therapist that came to the park to have the conversation with Brittany. Brittany confirms that there was a person there, even though she thought it was ridiculous. Unless that's just one of Jax's hired. It was like Tom Sandoval in a wig or something, you know?
A paid actor.
So that was there as well. I think there are too many things that you could find out. Like they kept in touch, I believe, with this facility production. Like they knew when he was getting out. Jason was... I want to believe, like, listen, the conspiracy theorist in me wants to believe that this is made up because it would make things a lot more sensical, but I think he did.
Is it a HIPAA violation to find out exactly what the facility was called? So like we can make sure that no one ever goes there, because why is he allowed his cell phone?
Well, you've got to listen to the Alex Baskin Hot Mic podcast that Jax did months and months ago before The Valley came out, because he did 2 interviews with Alex Baskin. Both of them are worth listening to just because he does a lot of lies, but he talks really about that experience. And if I'm not mistaken, I listened to it and I think he was even allowed to go to Crunch to work out for an hour. And I'm like, you did a lot of fucking...
What kind of facility is this?
And you're allowed to buy or you're allowed to rent condos you're allowed to make big life decisions in this mental health facility?
It's insane. Yeah. Next to his disgusting brother, Schwartz.
Yes.
It's insane.
It's oh my God. So yeah, that rumor is out there, but it really very frightening. We had the scene with Jasmine going up on Janet, calling her a Karen and all of this stuff. And I will say, watching Jason, put aside Janet, watching Jason, this man is slowly deteriorating. I get this man is a shell of his former, he's real. He doesn't realize, even though he's hung out with reality stars all his life, he does not, or the last 10 years, he doesn't realize what this actually does to you psychologically. And I think he came from a sensical place, and now he's realizing what this actually does to you, and people talk shit and go behind your back. And that's interesting to watch.
He is not made for this.
I think he really is very sad about a lot of these things that are happening. They've already shot the reunion, unfortunately, weeks and weeks ago. So who knows what came out of that, but I'm curious about the Jasmine-Janet relationship. Also Scheana, somebody pointed this out to me too. Scheana had the anal conversation about and then Preparation H the next day, she had a fucking sponsored post about Preparation H. And I was like, God bless you, Scheana. She was on it. And then somebody pointed out when she was making her famous enchiladas, she put Smirnoff vodka in the shot. She was holding it when they were doing shots because she also has a Smirnoff vodka partnership.
I like how you pronounce Smirnoff.
Well, how do you a Smirnoff? Hey, can I get a Smirnoff?
I don't know where the comes from, but yeah.
Just Smirnoff?
Yeah, she's a very shrewd businesswoman, Scheana. Shrewd businesswoman.
Would you ever admit, first off, would you ever admit anything anally anywhere? And secondly, would you ever do that on camera?
No, but Scheana is the gift that keeps on giving.
I don't even want to talk about it too much because I want her to keep going. I feel like at some point somebody's gonna oh, I got skull fucked or something even crazier.
And Brock is don't tell. What's the Irish accent you do for Brock?
Yeah, but somebody was that doesn't sound like him. I'm like, no shit, I can't do his accent. Hey, what's going on? They're talking about my Johnson. I got a big old Johnson and it hurt Shayna's bottom.
Oh my God.
Oh, and there's preparation. I made a video. Preparation H reached out to me and they said, thank you for talking about it. And they're sending me a box of stuff.
Oh my God. Baddies. Who knew Preparation H corporate had so many baddies?
And I was like, wait. I was like, but I don't do anal. And I was like, I guess there's other uses for Preparation H.
Yeah, I mean, like anyone can get hemorrhoids. I think if you like push too hard when you're pooping.
No, and I know that actually. So you're like, oh, Ryan definitely pushes too hard. You would think, right?
Yeah,
but I do not have hemorrhoids.
You could tell by looking at you that you're a pusher.
No, I agree. I would be like, this guy's got hemorrhoids everywhere. No hemorrhoids, actually. Wild. I know, shocking. Sophie, what's coming up on Snarkbait this week?
We are talking about someone named Rachel Hollis, who is like an OG
I
internet
know
personality.
a little bit about Rachel Hollis. What happened to her?
So that will be a fun deep dive. You're gonna have to listen.
Wait, didn't her husband like die?
Yeah, they were separated or divorced, but
yeah. But he was like, he quit his movie job, but he was like an inspirational. Wow, is that the guy?
Yeah, Dave Hollis. So that is our deep dive on Thursday. We have a Dark Energy Tuesday on Tuesday, and then our Patreon episode on Wednesday is near and dear to my heart. We are talking all about, and you guys are going to hear it first because we have not said this to the baby snarks yet, that we're talking all about Joe Burrow's love life.
Jesus. Jeez, oh my God. I do have a friend that is one of your patrons and said you had a really juicy episode. Very revealing.
Which one?
So you were talking about past dates or something. Or like past boyfriends or something.
Yes, we did like our dating misadventures of the past and we both had some crazy stories. So that's another one that we have.
I did that the first year of this show and that came back to haunt me. I'm sure you will be great about, but I said some things that I probably shouldn't have said in those first episodes. But that I did. I was stupid enough. I didn't put that behind a paywall, so I was an idiot. But go subscribe to their Patreon. Go do all of the things. Anything else coming up that we need to know about, Soph?
No, I'm sorry. If you're watching on YouTube and I was looking at my phone a little bit at the beginning, it's because I ordered dinner before we started. I ordered dinner 40 minutes in advance. Actually, more than that. Like literally almost an hour in advance so I could eat it before we recorded. And it was running late, so I was checking my phone.
I'm so sorry. Well, go eat your food.
Apologize.
Go eat your food.
Yeah, I'm going to go eat my gnocchi.
Gnocchi? What did Henry get?
He got vodka rigatoni.
Oh, he got Smirnoff rigatoni?
Smirnoff.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Have a great week. We got episodes all week. And go listen to Snarkbait. Bye.
Bye.